All right, let's dive into the world of Antonio and Kirven Douthit-Boyd. I have a feeling this one is going to be good.
Yeah.
I've got their bios, a few interviews, even some reviews of their performances.
Okay.
And it seems like our listeners are interested in, well, not just their love story, but their work as mentors and how they've, I don't know, impacted the dance world, really.
Well, what's so interesting right away is how both of them got into dance,
Yeah.
but it was in such different ways. So you have Antonio, who grew up in St. Louis, and it seems like he found freedom and a voice through dance. Like, it wasn't just something he did, it was how he expressed himself from a really young age.
Yeah.
And then Kirven, he grew up in Boston, and for him, dance gave him confidence. It helped him connect with others.
I see. So for both of them, dance was more than just steps and choreography, huh?
Definitely, yeah.
It was a way to, like, figure out who they were, deal with challenges, and ultimately become who they were meant to be. But then, isn't it wild that they both ended up at the Alvin Ailey American Dance Theater?
Right. I mean, what are the odds of that?
Talk about fate.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Not only did they end up at one of the, best dance companies in the world, but Alvin Ailey itself has such a rich history.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, it was founded back in 1958 by, Alvin Ailey himself. And it's known for its blend of modern dance, ballet, even African-American cultural influences.
Wow.
It's given a start to so many amazing dancers.
Right.
And it's been so important in bringing diverse voices to dance.
So they ended up at this incredible place. And, well, they found each other.
I did it.
It wasn't just a random meeting. It was the beginning of a relationship, a real partnership.
Yeah.
All because of their love of dance.
Okay.
Okay, I admit it. I love those kind of stories.
Me too.
But it wasn't just a quick fling, was it?
No, not at all.
They were both in this demanding world of professional dance.
Absolutely.
They helped each other through the long hours, the rehearsals, all the pressure that comes with performing at that level.
Yeah. And then in 2013, their story, well, it took a beautiful turn. They got married.
Oh, that's so great. But let's not forget, they were doing all of this as openly gay men. Right. Which, even in dance, can have its challenges, right?
Definitely.
Did they ever mention facing any, negativity or pushback?
That's interesting you asked that because, yeah, they have. In some interviews, they talk about doubts and even some discrimination early on.
Really?
But what's so amazing is how they used those experiences. They fueled their art, They never let it define them.
Wow.
And they became even stronger voices for inclusivity in dance because of it.
So they weren't just dancing, they were making a statement.
They were.
They were showing everyone that love and talent can beat prejudice. That must have meant a lot to people, especially young dancers.
I think so, yeah.
Those struggling with their own identities. Do you think their time at Alvin Ailey influenced their mentoring later on?
Oh, absolutely. In a lot of ways, Alvin Ailey prepared them not just to be dancers, but mentors. They saw how powerful a supportive community could be, how important it is to have role models you can relate to.
So it wasn't just about them becoming better dancers. It was about becoming the people who'd help others.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm sensing a theme here, taking challenges and turning them into chances to lift others up.
You got it.
And this leads to a really important part of their story, their decision to go back to St. Louis to lead the dance program at COCA.
Right, the Center of Creative Arts.
Wow, what a change. They went from performing on the world stage to helping young talent in Antonio's hometown. That's coming full circle.
It is.
And it's not just about giving back, right?
Yeah.
In interviews, they talk about COCA as a place to help young artists in St. Louis, especially those who need it most. Those facing, tough times or who don't have access to good arts education. So they saw a need and stepped up to meet it. That's amazing. But what exactly does COCA offer these young dancers?
Well, it's a pretty incredible program. I mean, it's not just about dance technique,
Right.
They have classes in all kinds of styles, ballet, modern, jazz, even hip hop. But they also really focus on creative expression, choreography, even dance history. They want these young artists to have a complete understanding of dance as an art form.
That's really cool. It's like a well-rounded approach. And I bet having Antonio and Kirven as mentors is a big plus for those dancers.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they're not just teachers, they're role models. Living examples of what you can achieve.
Right.
They bring everything they learned from Alvin Ailey, their world tours, their understanding of professional dance, and they share it all with the students.
That's a powerful combination. talent, experience, and this deep commitment to the next generation.
Yeah.
But it can't just be about training professionals, right?
No, I don't think so.
I mean, they must see dance as something bigger, something that can really help young people, especially those facing challenges.
You're absolutely right. They talk a lot about dance as a way to discover yourself, build confidence, find your voice, you know?
Yeah.
They believe it can help young people work through tough emotions, become more resilient, and feel like they belong. And that's so important in a place like St. Louis where lots of kids face real obstacles, you know, social and economic ones.
Well, it's about empowering them, not just as dancers, but as people.
Yeah.
Giving them the tools to express themselves and handle whatever life throws at them. That's pretty incredible.
It is, and people are noticing their work at COSCA has gotten national recognition.
That's great.
They even received a big grant from the National Endowment for the Arts to support their programs and make dance accessible to more communities.
That's fantastic. It sounds like their commitment to social change through dance is having a real impact in St. Louis and beyond. But their story doesn't stop there, does it?
It doesn't.
We haven't even touched on their performances around the world. It's mind-blowing to think they were doing all of this while building up COSCA.
I know, right?
They have so much energy.
It's amazing. And those international performances weren't just about showing off their talent either. They were about cultural exchange, growing as artists.
I can only imagine what they learned performing for all sorts of audiences worldwide. It must have broadened their perspective on dance, on culture, on everything.
Definitely in interviews, they talk about how these experiences push them creatively, expose them to new styles, new ways of moving, new interpretations of dance.
Wow.
It seems like those global connections brought something new to their work, something they wouldn't have gotten if they'd stayed in one place.
So their art became like a conversation, huh?
Yeah, I like
a dialogue between cultures and styles and traditions, and they were the ones making it happen, translating this universal language of movement.
That's a great way to put it. They weren't just dancing. They were connecting with people on a really deep level, going beyond language and cultural differences.
It's inspiring, isn't it?
It is.
They took their love for dance, their love for each other, their dedication to social change, and their desire to experience the world and turn it all into a life that's both amazing and meaningful.
It really makes you think about the power of one life, one partnership, one shared passion to change the world.
You know, I mean, every time I think we've reached the peak of their story, there's another layer, another dimension that unfolds.
Right.
I think we need a moment to let it all sink in before we wrap things up. What do you say?
I agree. There's a lot to process here, and I think it's worth pausing to think about all the ways their story can inspire us.
Okay, I think I'm back. Antonio and Kirven's journey is just so, I don't know, complex. So where do we even start to break this all down?
Well, I think the most obvious thing is just how powerful passion can be. I mean, both Antonio and Kirven found their calling through dance, right?
Right.
It wasn't just a hobby, a job. It was like this force that shaped who they were, what they wanted to do.
Yeah, and it wasn't always easy for them either. I mean, they had their share of obstacles and setbacks, but that passion and how much they supported each other, that seems to have been what kept them going.
Absolutely. Think about their choice to be open about their relationship, especially back then when the dance world and society in general wasn't as accepting. That took real guts.
It really does make their success that much more impressive, right? They weren't just achieving things for themselves. They were breaking down walls, showing other LGBTQ plus artists that it's okay to be who you are.
Absolutely. And they didn't stop there. Their dedication to mentoring at COSCA, that says a lot about their desire to give back.
It does.
They could have just focused on their own careers, but they chose to help the next generation.
It's like they understood that being successful isn't just about what you achieve yourself,
right,
but about the legacy you leave behind.
Exactly.
And that's what's so inspiring about them. They took everything they went through, the good and the bad, and used it to empower others.
Yeah. And they did all of that while still being incredible artists. We haven't even gotten into the details of their dancing.
Right.
But critics rave about their athleticism, their emotion, how they can tell stories just by moving.
You know, that's something I've been thinking about, too. We've talked about their impact as mentors, as advocates, but we can't forget just how talented they are as dancers. It's like the foundation for everything else they do.
You're right. Their skill is undeniable. And it's so interesting how they've brought their own lives into their art,
Yeah.
exploring themes of identity, love, social justice, all through movement.
So it's all connected. Their art reflects their lives enrich their art. It's this beautiful back and forth.
It really is. And it's still going. I'm excited to see what they'll do next, how their work will continue to push boundaries to inspire.
Me too. This feels like just the beginning of their story. But for now, I think we've done a pretty good job of showing how far their influence reaches.
I think so. We've seen how they've used dance not just to express themselves, but to make a difference in the world, to give others a voice, and to connect with people from all walks of life.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to ask you, what are you taking away from Antonio and Kirven's story? What sticks with you? Is it their strength in the face of hardship, their dedication to their community, or how they combine art and activism to create real change?
Whatever it is, I think their story reminds us that we all have the power to make a difference, to leave our mark on the world.
Yeah.
It's about finding what you're passionate about, being true to yourself, and using your talents to do something meaningful, something that makes the world a better place.
Well said. Antonio and Kirven Douthit-Boyd, thank you for showing us that even when things feel divided and tough, there's still beauty, there's still hope, and there's still the incredible power of love, art, and human connection. And to our listeners, until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep asking questions, and keep believing in the power of your own story.